So Gosh is a kind of a decentralized platform, layer one blockchain with some interoperability with other blockchains. I'll talk about that in a second. And with applicational layer on top of that. So the problem that we're trying to solve is like, we see a lot of use cases for decentralization, but they cannot be realized today on due to technology like shortcomings or economic deficiencies in today's blockchain, like Web3 world. So there are many markets aside from financial, which we probably like talk about that all the time, as like real world assets, governance, DP, and so on and so forth. And very few projects that actually contributed to this space. The Web3 does not have instruments in infrastructure today to actually handle these use cases sufficiently, we believe. That's what we were meant to, and we started two years ago in cooperation with Docker. We started from securing software supply chain problem, which again, to solve that, we implemented Git on chain. It's a full implementation of Git version control system on the blockchain, where it's an honest implementation, meaning everything is on chain, code stored on chain, and all the mutations of the code, meaning like diffs processed on chain by virtual machine instruction. So, like, this is the layer which provides us with the security guarantees that we need to secure the software supply chain. At the beginning, that's what we at least started to do. We then created the DAO platform because, again, if you have a repository, let's say on GitHub today, and it's owned by one person, literally, this is not very secure. So we obviously came from that kind of notion, and we created then the DAO. Once we created the DAO, which manages the repository, we started, of course, having requests for features. In the end, we ended up with a very sophisticated, I would say, DAO platform, again, running on top of this on-chain Git. And then we realized that we cannot actually process that amount of data via the blockchain that we used at the time. I was a CTO of Ton Labs, which did a Rust implementation of Ton, Telegram Open Network blockchain, and we naturally used this. But the amount of data that we had to process when, like repository like Linux, you push it into the Git, it's like, with the history, it's like 50 million objects. So obviously there is no blockchain technology today that can process that amount. Well, we kind of knew that, but we started anyway because we wanted to implement the use case, and then we knew how to actually solve the layer, coming back to the kind of layer one problem and solving it. So we introduced the protocol that we worked in for like last 3 years, which called Akiaki. We introduced it in December last year. There is a test net running right now about that, and we're about to transition to the mainnet like towards June. So the Akiaki is actually like it's a protocol that solves for scalability that we need and finality times that we also need for our application. And the other thing that we started to do is we started to explore which other like opportunities to use this basic layer of technology and operational layer in other use cases. So we went to different partners and started to work with them on their applications. So a few words about Akiaki. Akiaki was published as a part of Applied Cryptography Network Security Conference, ACNS 2024, peer-reviewed, sponsored by Springer National Computer Science Book Series. It's a protocol. I can show you maybe just that. So it's based on this research, which it's a novel consensus protocol, a completely new design. I would say it produces 3 blocks per. Actually, I can show you even how it does in real life. That's a working testnet. It produces like three blocks per second with a finality of less than 1 second. It's linearly scalable. It's multi-threaded and multi-sharded architecture. So in theory, it can in theory, it's unlimited. Of course, the constraint is linear kind of network load and CPU capacity. Basically, that's the constraint of the networks. It's much faster and more scalable than Solana or any other existing blockchain that you can that we know at the moment. We also build all these applications, as I said, on top of it, like not application, we would call it operational layer, which is really, can also show that. This is basically this layer, which can be used as a repository, obviously, but also as a peer review platform like Hackathon. You have Hackathon, you can run Hackathon on that, create tasks, and so on and so forth. So in terms of go-to-market, we started to partner. So again, first we partnered with Docker. Docker is also an early investor. We partnered then with Ambassador, with something called Any3, which is isolated builder for software delivery, like secured by Gosh. Recently, we have announced a partnership with the United Nations Internet Governance Forum, which will run, actually already is piloting DAOs on Gosh, because again, we could, the problem with today's DAO platforms that they basically are just voting mechanisms on top of like arbitrary texts. What we are doing in combining like the Git and peer review platform with the DAO platform is that you can construct your processes, any kind of processes. So it can be peer review process, can be document process, or any kind of processes with the DAO built in. And that is very appealing because organizations like United Nations, they don't need to build all that. You can just take Gosh and just use it and create whatever structures on top of your governance structure on top of your process. We're also partnering with, we're doing a lot on biodiversity space and green energy. Actually, we'll talk like for 1 minute just as an example of this use case. So Gosh partners with Integrity Credits, which is a Swiss-based company, in creating alliance of the largest and most kind of credible standard issuers and marketplace platforms for biodiversity credits. And these partnerships are exclusive, so exclusive to Gosh and Integrity Credits. So basically, that means that all of the biodiversity credits that will be issued by these organizations will be issued on Gosh. So okay, so that's just a quick use case. So yeah, so we have a roadmap which is quite extensive. Well, in terms of like money, we have like seed rounds 1.2 billion, and we're now looking for like 1.5 million to get listed, because we need, for all this partnership, we need, and the platform itself, we need decentralization. And in order to ensure decentralization, once the Akiaki runs as our mainnet for all the Gosh applications, we have to kind of go public with this, release the token and decentralize it. So in order to do that, we're closing this round. We have agreements already in place with centralized exchanges to do that during the summer. That's our timeline, kind of, and I think that's it.